Welcome back. Now it's time for our weekly energy update with Dan McTeague, President of Canadians for Affordable Energy. All yours, Dan.
Well, thank you very much for that, Teresa. Very interesting week, but not necessarily on the energy front. A lot to do with the Canadian dollar, which is losing ground. It's taking about 140.5, 140.8 US Canadian pennies to buy a US dollar. When that happens, it means the purchase power of every Canadian when it comes to commodities like gasoline or oil or food or whatever tends to go out the window. Put it in perspective, at 140, 141 cents to buy one US dollar adds about 24 cents to the liter of the price of gasoline. So it's something that's often overlooked by folks who say, oh, it's great because we can sell more products in the United States. We're more attractive. No, in fact, it's probably because we're not attractive that these prices, that the Canadian dollar continues to fall. And that is a very significant concern for all of us here that worry and fret about inflation. While it may be a question of, the United States may not proceed with a quarter point drop in interest rates next week, given the strength of or the stubbornness of inflation there, it also suggests that the Bank of Canada here is going to have a problem on December the 11th. Our economy is not growing, and in fact is really in, if you will, stall mode. And as a result, the bank is between a rock and a hard place. We haven't seen the Canadian dollar trade this low since about April of 2020 rather, when oil was trading for minus $37 a barrel. You remember that was the height of COVID. Everyone stopped driving. The world was coming to an end and everything was crashing. That's, of course, because there was no storage for a lot of oil. And that's why the price was dropped so dramatically to minus numbers in order to incentivize people to actually find storage. And it certainly worked out very well, including at the time, the U.S. president, I believe, Trump, then in his final year as president, found room in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to put some of this oil there. But I digress. The fact the Canadian dollar is trading so low, almost at historical lows, and going back to something we haven't seen in pretty much almost 4.5, even 5 years, suggests that the Canadian economy is very weak, and there really isn't much hope for the Canadian economy in the short term, as long as you continue to double down, triple down on policies that are designed to destroy and to stop the investment in Canadian oil and gas. But there's a second problem. That's the Trump administration has made very clear that it's not proceeding with mandates on electric vehicles. That means all of the $50 to $60 billion of your tax money and mine, much of it borrowed, much of it committed, will never see the light of day. 90% of Canadian automotive production is earmarked for the United States. And if we're putting all eggs in one basket, as I've written in the Western Standard this week, you'll see my blog at affordableenergy.ca. It means that we've backed the wrong horse with a lot of money we simply don't have. What that means is that gasoline prices, by the way, are going to remain very stable. With the new administration in the United States, it's going to do everything it can to drill, baby, drill. It means that prices that we're seeing currently in the $1.48 average will likely remain. The only thing that's going to be going up, though, Teresa, will be diesel. As weather gets colder, there will be greater demand on distillates and diesel, not just for home heating fuel, but also, for trucks and trains and even jets, which run on diesel. It's aviation fuel. It's pretty much the same thing. As colder temps kick in, of course, we use more heating oil, especially in eastern parts of the United States and Canada. What this means is I don't see much change in the outlook for the prices this week ahead. I see $1.74 remaining in Vancouver, $1.68 to $1.70 in the BC interior. For Edmonton and Calgary, $1.29 to $1.34. What we're seeing for Saskatchewan, no change, $1.42. Same for Manitoba at about $1.26 to $1.29. Ontario, you're at $1.51, maybe up a penny, down a penny, but pretty much the same, unless something dramatic should have happened geopolitically. Then all those calculations are off. Same for Quebec in the $1.62 range. And of course, Atlantic Canada, which saw a small decrease this week. Look for those prices to remain pretty stable until next week. Now, that means that we're in a bit of a holding pattern, but we have to watch the Canadian dollar and we have to watch geopolitically the decisions that are coming out of the new Trump administration. They're going to have a large impact, not on just energy prices, but the future economic success of this nation. That's it for this week, and we'll be back at you this time next week again, Teresa.